Are you struggling to break through the noise of social media like everyone is? In this episode, discover how to create magnetic captions that captivate your audience, uncover the secret elements of an impactful post, and learn a step-by-step process to tailor content perfectly to your brand. So stay tuned and revolutionize your social media strategy and start seeing real results.
Welcome to the Lead Machine Growth Show, where you will discover how to tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream. Paul Guyan, the mastermind behind the Lead Machine, introduces you to trailblazers who inspire you to implement life-changing solutions and systems you can model to nurture your leads and get your offers seen by your ideal clients who will invest in themselves and you. Be sure you visit our website at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, tune in and get ready to transform your vision into reality.
Welcome to the Lead Machine Growth Show. I'm Paul Guyan, your host, Lead Machine coach, and the founder of the Lead Machine Marketing Group and Mastermind. And I'm dedicated to helping you tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream life. And so whether you're just starting out or you want to take your business to the next level, let's get this conversation started and turn your dreams into reality. So today we have my friend Maggie Carey. And Maggie, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, Paul, thank you for having me as your guest. I am so excited to share some interesting conversation today.
Yeah. Social media, it's painless posting. I wish that were true for me, because I like just like I tuned that excerpt because it really resonates with me, because it is painful, because I just sometimes don't know what to do. Fortunately, I've got a lot of content through my podcast, so that really helps. And that's one of the stumbling blocks I know that people have. So speaking of stumbling, tell us a little bit about you and how you stumbled onto this process that makes you have a company that helps people do this thing painlessly.
Oh, Paul, I'd love to share my story. And it's funny, we both have a background in IT. I've been in IT for over 40 years, like you.
Yeah.
I started my career working for government, created an IT department before there was one. But as I transferred to corporate America and then moved on to own my own business, I was struggling with social media, believe it or not. That was a pain point for me. I couldn't figure out this mystery. Now, this was before, Instagram had Reels and before TikTok was a thing, right? This was, just using Facebook and LinkedIn and trying to figure out, how do I reach my clients as an IT professional? And I struggled with it right now. So in IT, what I would do is I'd find here's the problem. Let's see if there's technology to fit it. And so that's basically what I did. I put myself through my process of IT, figuring out, okay, what's my challenge? What am I doing? What tools are out there that I can use that could help? Let me get some training. Let me listen to some expert advice. I call it tools, tactics, and training, right? Let me get this whole thing together so I can figure out how to do social media for myself. And then once I did it, I started enjoying doing social media. And I'm like, you know what? This is something more exciting to do for businesses than designing websites and researching software and all the other stuff I was doing, which I still love. But I focused in on social media. And that's where now I basically teach my process and share my tools that I use and how to really make painless posting.
Yeah, nice. And so you probably do it for people as well as teach people how to do it. So how does that, did you start out just doing it for people and then switching over to say, well, this doesn't scale well, and I've got to teach people how to do it and maybe teach others to teach for me, that kind of thing? Is that what you've done to scale, or how did that work out?
That's a great question. So, with a lead machine, right? We always have to listen to our clients. So I had been doing done for you services, anything from a gas station to restaurants to realtors to coaches, business coaches. And what I found was that I had a certain population. So I teach for the New York Public Library. We do Zoom classes. I teach for SCORE. Local networking groups have me come in. I'm a speaker. I travel around the world and around the States and speak on social media. And a lot of people would approach me and say, I'm a solopreneur or I'm just starting out. I don't have the funds to handle your services, right? So I started saying, well, I can show you the tool that I use. I can teach you how I do what I do. So that kind of spawned this whole new component of my business where, we have a community around it, and it helps that business owner who needs that shortcut, but still needs to do their own social. Because I also have people who are like, I need to do my own social. I don't want anybody else doing it. I need to handle it on my own.
Yeah.
So we can help either that busy business owner that's like, please, I don't want to know anything about social media. Do it for me so I can just sit back and work on other things in my business. And of course I love doing that. And I have a stellar staff who is amazing graphic designers, copywriters, recreate content, publish it. It's so wonderful. It's so easy. We also have people who, my team uses our software and even teach people who have social media people in their companies use our software. We have a whole approval process and everything. It's great.
Okay, so I'm a techie just like you. So let's talk about those tools and the software. So what is it? Is it a proprietary system that you're using, or is it something that you've adapted and you have a process around it? Or tell us about that.
Yeah, the second one that you said. So it's a tool that I've adapted and changed, added in my own flair and things like we have a community, things like we have a pod, so people will post. So they get this interaction with other people. But the biggest thing I found is I was talking about tools, tactics, and training, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. You can get a posting tool anywhere. There's hundreds of them out there. They all have different things. And look, I've investigated so many and found one that I felt was far superior. That's the one I took and then changed it into Painless posting and added all those little bonuses like meeting with me weekly in a group setting to ask questions. Because, have you ever tried to get support for Instagram or Facebook?
Yes. In fact, I've got a story about that. I want to talk about it. Yeah. That
I cannot help with the pain because it is very difficult for anyone to get to them. But however, sometimes the questions are easy to answer for me, and I'm more than happy to help my clients with that.
Right. And it's almost if you're like me, and I think you probably are just from knowing you, it's our mission to help people to solve this problem because it's easy for us. We've been in tech for 40 years. It doesn't matter if it's old tech or new tech. We're used to learning it and going, oh, well, that's how it does it. Oh, it's called that, but it's really this, and it works like that. And so, bada boom, bada bing. It's easy to do. We solve its problems for people. That's what we've been doing for our entire careers. So it's easy for us to pick it up, where people that we're helping, they don't even know where to start. They don't know what the terminology. They get afraid of pushing the wrong button and having everything explode. Whatever.
Yeah. Or
it's easy. It's easier.
Not post, right? Like one of the things that I was working on. The reason I kind of my little origin story, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, and the night before Thanksgiving on about, I guess it was 2019. And I was working on Black Friday posts of all things the night before Thanksgiving. Do you think I was a little behind the eight ball there?
I think so.
And I was working on to get all this content out. My family was home getting ready for Thanksgiving. kids home from college. And here I was working at night in my office. At the time it was pre-COVID. So I actually had a physical space, not my, my home office. And I said, this is not the way I want to run my business. Like spending a day working on social media content. This is crazy. And I think a lot of business owners feel that, like, before they know it, they're trying to figure out, well, what do I do? How do I post? How do I create content? What do I try to figure this whole thing out? And the thing that I tell clients, and people who listen to me wherever I teach, right? It's, you need to share who you are, why you do what you do, and how you solve their problem. Just like I solved my problem, right? I figured out this process. You want to make it easier for that client, your prospects, to figure out what is it that you do. And I think a lot of times we show the things we sell. Like, as techies, it's very hard for people, like,
very hard. Yeah.
Very hard not to get into the whole, the nuts and bolts kind of thing. But it's that emotional content that is what resonates. Think about when you look at social media, what are the things that appeal to you? And a lot of times it's interesting imagery. It's the way they are speaking to you. It's, it's entertainment, or it's educational or informative, right?
Right. And sharing stuff that helps you get things done, which is what we do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about the, let's see, we've just talked about some challenges, because there's the fear, there's just not knowing where to start. There's the whole learning of platforms. What are some of the elements that you believe are essential for creating compelling social media content?
So,
and you probably just said that, didn't you?
Well, no, not really, because I can deep dive into this a little bit.
Okay.
So the first thing, like, I talk about tools, right? Like, so I talk about having a tool like Painless Posting, where you can create content. It's got an AI component to make things easier, right? I had somebody who had never created a social media post ever create one in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just by guiding her. Just say, do this, do this, do this. And she's been rinsing and repeating and doing great. So having a tool like that, having a design tool like Canva, so you can create, and again, our system kind of connects, so you don't have to learn Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and etc. You just learn one tool and let it post to others. So that's one easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is what you're talking about, having a plan. So I have something called the help process. And that was something we were talking about earlier, how this process is an acronym that can help you write the content. So imagery is important. We all know video is crushing it right now. TikTok, new kid on the block, right? They're really getting a large portion of the market share because of the way they promote their stuff. Yeah. However, our content, our captions, that the wording that we use is very important. And I think people don't realize when you create a social media post, you're actually creating a mini web page. Because think about it, right? It has its own URL. It has its own, Instagram.com/gobbledygook of numbers, right? And letters.
Right. Yeah.
It's a page on the internet. It's searchable. And I find that by writing the caption strategically is where businesses can use the help process. So H is a hook, right? Hook them in. When you started this podcast, right? You said something to hook people in. You didn't just say, hey, my name is Paul, right? You started with a hook.
Right.
The next is explore the pain point, the E. Exploring a pain point is the client's pain point. What are they struggling with? What is something that you can bond on? I shared my stress and angst about creating social media content the night before Thanksgiving, right? That was stressful for me, right? I understand the time constraint and the frustration that goes along with it. So we bond on that E, exploring the pain point. The next is laying out the solution, right? The solution to the problem they have just happens to be the solution that you have, right? So
Right.
Painless posting, for example, solves that problem that they have. And then, of course, the one thing that some people miss, they kind of feel, well, people should know what to do, but it's a prompt the action. You have to have a strong CTA or call to action so that they know what to do next. Should they sign up for your lead magnet? Should they DM you? Should they comment? Right? There are all these fun things that you can do. And there's so many tools and software that's out there that can kind of like ManyChat is one. I use a product called Go High Level that has like 10 different software packages in one. And that one of them is if somebody DMs a certain word, it will send them an immediate reply. So whether they're at midnight saying, DMing me or commenting on one of my posts, it will send out whatever it needs to send out. So things like this, the help process, the hook, exploring the pain point, laying out the solution, and prompting the action, those 4 steps combined with graphics or pictures or images will help your content resonate. Now, some people use ChatGPT as an AI to write their content. So all you have to do is put in your target audience, put in that help process, give me a hook, blah, 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 right? Tell them, I want to, this is the pain point, this is my solution, and have it figure it out for you. And those are ways to shortcut and simplify social media so that you can spend your time doing other things that are driving revenue in your business, right? These are the things that I find people get bogged down. They focus on the wrong things. Like, instead of taking the first picture they see that kind of works well, they're searching, for 15 minutes trying to find the perfect picture. Yes, it's good to have a good picture, but is it worth 15 minutes from picture A to picture B? Maybe, maybe not, right?
Yeah, it depends on your audience and how much time you have.
Yes.
And what is it that Dan Kennedy said? Good is good enough.
Yeah.
Or done is even better.
Better done than right, perfect. And I think, sometimes the less than perfect posts, by that, I mean, the image may be, it may be more casual. It may not be a formal headshot, right? It may be just you, holding your camera and talking. I had an example of a client who was in the tree service industry, right? She, we ask for them to send us content. If they have it, images, graphics, videos, we would use them to create imagery. Well, she sent me a video and she's walking and talking like this, right? And the camera's going, and I'm like, well, we're going to use it because it's great. Her, what she was saying was great. It was her. I love it when my clients are front facing in their social media. It resonates beautifully with audiences. They love seeing behind the scenes, the people who they're working with, because look, they're hiring you, not your business, right? They're trusting you. And you know what? That post did really, really well. And it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a professional videographer going out there taking her photos. It was her and her authenticity, right?
Yeah, I think people are more they're more in tune with that realness and making mistakes. My podcast, for instance, I make mistakes. I'm doing and scratching my cheek. I don't edit that. I don't edit that out. And sometimes one day I had a guest come on the show, and it turns out her VA was the one who signed up, and so I thought I was interviewing this person, and I didn't realize. And this different person came on, And I went, and I totally flubbed I was flabbergasted. I flubbed my introduction and everything. And I go, I don't even know I don't remember what I am I'm the founder of. Wait a minute. So I started over and I left it in because it was funny.
Yeah.
Because she said, you nailed it. And I said, I'm keeping that just because people want real.
They do. I mean, I guess reality TV has its place, right? I think the genuine nature of, hey, we're not perfect. We're struggling along this entrepreneurial journey along with you. I think holds water, especially, I work with clients that are B2Bs, B2Cs, and one of their mind blocks, like a real mind block, is I keep saying to them, if you were to say this, what's in your post, to a person you were meeting face to face, would it resonate, right? We keep forgetting, we think, well, we're posting on social media, that the other end of the line is a human, right? Well, yes, there are bots out there.
There are bots, but we're trying to reach humans in most cases.
Right. And
right.
I think that when you, like, for example, if you walked in a store and they kept, hey, can I help you? You should buy this. This is really cool. This is our sale right now. This is this, right? You get turned off, right? But if you get approached and say, hi, how are you? Welcome. What brings you to us today? Question, right? Questions are great in your social media, right? What is your biggest challenge when it comes to insert your industry, right? Insert something that you solve, right? Sometimes you find, like with me, I started finding people who are like, Maggie, I need the services that you offer, but I can't afford it, but I need to do my own social. So what did I do? I created a product that answers that question. So sometimes in your business, you need to look and listen to the clients to find out other avenues of revenue, other ways to grow, like you're talking lead machine growth, right?
Yeah.
How can you grow your business? Look, I could have curled up into a ball when AI came into the picture, right? I could, nobody needs me anymore. They can just use AI. No, they can't.
No, they can't.
And I think, but look, AI has taken a hit to many copywriters, marketing professionals, right? This is something where now we have to learn to evolve, right? How are we taking this technology and putting it into our system so that we can create content easier? And, that's why when I was looking for a tool, I needed to make sure that AI was a strong component in it.
Right. Yeah.
And now teaching people how to use it effectively and smart.
Right. And I'm glad you brought up AI. And you also mentioned a minute ago, you said something about if you repeated this post to someone in person, would it resonate? Same question. When you're generating content with AI, and I just had Andy O'Brien on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's got a new book called The Humanizers. I don't know if you know Andy, but how do we make sure that content that's created by AI reflects not only you but your brand and what you stand for, and it would resonate with someone on the street, because you just can't just pump it out. Although it's really, really compelling and tempting to do that. But what's your process for filtering it?
Paul, you are so insightful. That is the perfect question to ask. So the thing that we need to understand about AI is that you have to look at it as an assistant. It is, look at it in content writing. Look at it as the writer and you're the editor. Everything that you do in your business, I don't care what it is. I don't care whether it's buying signs, creating marketing material, doing your social, hiring people, whatever you do in your business, it has to run through the filter of your brand. Your brand is the foundation of every single thing you do in your business. And look, it's not just color. Like, look, I'm purple. I've got my branding and my logos all over the place, right? It's not just about that. It's about who I am and what I do, right? In 3 words, simplify social media, right? If my content doesn't sound like me, there's a disconnect with my audience and my brand. So when you create content like this, you want to make sure that you read it extremely carefully and make sure that your words are filtered in there. Now, yes, you can train AI, like our system learns from you. It looks at your website. So it learns, right? AI learns from you, but
Yeah.
it isn't perfect. We aren't perfect either. So,
Right.
but
Which is a good thing.
yes, right. I think that's where our, being imperfect is what makes life interesting, right?
Perfectly imperfect. Yeah.
Perfectly imperfect. But yeah, so that's what I suggest people do. That use it for ideas like, okay, how can I, give me 10 post ideas to promote painless posting, and I can read through them and then say, okay, now I like 3, 5, and 7. Let's explore those a little bit. And, maybe those will give me ideas. Like, what are some common pain points that people have with insert your industry, right? These are things I think that can help you, that can be thought provoking, that can now use your skill. Nothing is going to replace, look, you and I both have 40 years experience in IT. There have been times where somebody's asked me a question. I had a client 6 months with another business trying to solve a problem she had on Instagram. I walked in. I said, I need to fix this. She was local. I need to fix this. I need to see your phone. Just make it easier. Within 5 minutes, I solved her problem. And I'm not saying that to brag or just to impress upon you that 40 years of IT came into play with that 5-minute solution, right?
Right.
We are the thought leaders. We are the, and I'm going to say this word, the experts, right? Or the geniuses behind the content. So how do you convey your expertise so that people can trust you? Like, it comes down to trust. We're building trust on our social media.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, for those who are watching on YouTube, she has a beautiful shade of purple behind in her background. She's got purple lipstick, purple glasses, purple shirt. I wore something that looks purple. It's actually burgundy, but and so we've got a lot of purple going on. Her nails. She's my stepdaughter. Catherine just loves purple, so I can't wait to show her this episode because she's got purple everything. And I think we got her purple pajamas for Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, and she loves it.
Oh, it's awesome. It's a great color. Look, color plays a very important role in your social, right? I encourage people either, by staying on brand in your social, be cohesive, have a common, palette that you use. LinkedIn, I'm sorry, Canva has a wonderful thing called a brand kit where you can put your colors in and very easily shuffle the color to turn it into your own. And I find that my clients, either when they pick a color, or like I have one that does a lot of nature posts, like everything has a nature theme. So maybe different colors, but the theme of it is flowers or nature, right? Those things kind of, they see it and they're like, oh, that's Paul's post, or, oh, that's a post from that company, right? Because it has the style, the brand, right, that goes along with it. So for sure. And colors all have meanings. The psychology, if you haven't looked at even Google, it's the psychology of color. It's very interesting to find out. Like, it's why you see a lot of people, like in the creative world, use purple, because purple is, it identifies, yes, royalty, of course. But
royalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love purple. In fact, I was in the search of a purple drum set because I'm a drummer, I'm a musician, and I have a gig tonight, in fact. And I could not find the purple drum set. So my favorite color is blue. And so it used to be green, but my brother already had that. So once he passed, it was safe for me to say that my favorite color is blue. But anyway, so I have a nice, beautiful blue drum set, and I have LED lighting underneath it, um, which illuminates me and the drum set, and it's gorgeous. And even if I'm using my electronic drums, which aren't, they're just black. But
Yeah.
with the blue lights, they know, oh, there Paul's on stage. It's Paul's here tonight because they see that blue. Of course, they see me too. But yeah, I love blue. I love color, and I don't know where that was going with that. But let's go with getting started as a business owner, a entrepreneur. The people that you serve, what do they need to do first to decide to get into social media? And first steps.
So first step, the one thing that I suggest to all business owners is secure your brand on all the major platforms. So you have, like, when I created Master It Media, I made sure, now this, remember, I was an IT company because it was Master IT Media before it was Master It Media, right?
Yeah.
And I made sure that Master It Media was available on all major platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Business. I wanted to make sure I had a Google Business account. That's probably number two. If you're new, get a Google Business. It's free. Do it. Business.google.com. It's great. Even X, Twitter. I know it's kind of, we don't know what's happening with it, but still secure your brand on that.
Yeah.
Pinterest is great, especially if you have a strong female base in your users. I think it's almost 80% now female in Pinterest. And of course, now we've got TikTok. Now we have, of course, YouTube has been around for ages, right? When you get something like youtube.com/masteritmedia, you want to secure your brand. You want to secure your name so they find you and not your competitor or somebody who has a similar sounding.
Yeah.
So that would be step one. Of course, step two, as I mentioned, Google Business, really important. And the thing, about social media that I want to say with step three is create your content. Get stuff out there. People aren't going to know, you repurpose if you need to. Like you mentioned, you create this podcast. Like I have a podcast now too. It's brand new, Painless Posting Podcast. See, very new. We're going to have you on as a guest.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Teaching the help process. But with that, I'm taking, components of my podcast and I'm putting it in as social media. So I'm not reinventing the wheel, right? I'm repurposing content. I also talk about repurposing content. The reason why a tool like Painless Posting or any posting tool worth its, weight, they have the ability to publish across multiple platforms.
Right.
So my suggestion is publish across all the major platforms that you have access to. You do it easily, like with Painless Posting. I create one, it publishes to 8, no problem, easy peasy. And then what I do is I focus my time, because engagement is important in these platforms. The algorithm loves it. I spend my time on Instagram and LinkedIn to engage. If I have time, I'll go into the other ones, but the back and forth, of course, anytime somebody responds to me, I get notified, I respond back. Of course, That goes without saying, regardless of what platform. But for me to comment on other people's posts or share content, I'm doing that in the platforms that I get more traction on. And the way I know that is by looking at analytics. Those analytics are key. Again, Painless Play. I hate to beat a dead horse, but the reason I use Painless Posting is it checks all the boxes. So I found out, here's a fun one. I'm not a fan of TikTok. Are you a fan of TikTok? I'm not the best fan.
No, I'm not the biggest fan, but one of my clients started sharing content with me on TikTok. And so I said, oh, okay, I'll get an account. So I have an account because I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking up, I'll have to admit it, I'm looking up stuff on UFOs and all this other stuff that I've been interested that's has nothing to do with anything. It's a waste of time. But yes, I have TikTok it, but I've not posted anything, and
So
people are
here,
friending me, and
yeah.
yeah,
So here's the thing. You create reels with this, right? With your podcast.
yeah,
So take the reel, post it, you're creating it organically. Post it, don't share. Like, I know some people who take a TikTok post and share it to Instagram. Don't do that,
yeah,
because it has the TikTok logo on it. It's not going to get the play on. Why would I promote somebody else's business, right? Like, Instagram is thinking,
yeah,
okay, well, we'll take your content, but it's got the TikTok logo, so maybe not promote it that much.
yeah.
But anyway, I create my content. When I do a Reels format, I post it on I post it on all major platforms, including Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. One of the posts that I created was a tip on LinkedIn. Well, do you know, within the first hour it was out on TikTok, I had over 1,600 views. And I was like, wow, I didn't get that kind of play on YouTube or Instagram. So I posted another LinkedIn tip. Again, I posted it on all my platforms. And again, it resonated with the TikTok audience.
Wow.
So
Who knew?
now I start saying, okay, so when I'm on TikTok, I need to start looking at people who have questions about LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the platform choice. When you said get on them all, I said, yeah, that makes sense. And you said I spend the most time on these two because that's where your audience is.
Mhm.
And I was expecting you to say go there first, but it was a little different. But what you said made sense, was make sure you claim them all.
Yes.
And as new ones come on, you're gonna want to pay attention and get on them. Like what is there? There's Truth, and there's
You Real, and there was another one that kind of flipped. It was blue something. It kind of flipped in and flipped out. I still got it. I don't post to it. There's so many different tools that keep coming up.
yeah.
And I think the major players are where we really need to focus at. I'm not saying not to, if you find a niche, go for it. Some people use Alignable. Some people use, if they're local,
Yeah.
they'll use like Alignable. There's another one that's a local, that realtors tend to use. I can't remember the name of it. It's very popular. Sorry, it's
It's
evading.
not Zillow, is it?
No,
That's a competitor to realtors.
yeah, it's more of a social construct. Like it's more of a social kind of, people put like a bunch of things like the sort of like a mini Facebook, but locally.
Right.
And
So realtors who are listening, put in the comments what the heck that is so we can find out.
I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Those are, and I think this is where we look at our socials. You have to see where you're tracking, where you're attention, where you're getting attention. I'm never I'm never surprised, because I look at my analytics. And that's why, one of the reasons why posting on all the platforms, like I said, would I have posted on TikTok? Nope. Would not have, wouldn't. But because I can just check a box and it's posted, why not? Right? I'm already doing the work. Why not?
Yeah.
And of course it landed into attention. Now, whether it lands into a sale, I don't know, but as business owners, we always have to be planting seeds in places that other people aren't. And that's where I think social media, social media has leveled the playing field for, we have an account just like major brands have accounts, the Pepsis and the Cokes and the Nikes and all of these major companies have social media accounts just like we do.
Yeah. And you mentioned analytics. And so what are some of the things? There's reach, there's engagement. What are some of the really important things that you should pay attention to on a regular basis?
So engagement to me is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So engagement is going to be, the reactions, the likes, the loves, right? Engagement is also comments. Engagements is share and save. And that's in order of importance, right? So so liking is great, commenting is better, sharing is better than that, saving is the best. As some platforms don't have save, but right? So that's engagement. Those are when people actually get out of their little, let me just stalk you and see what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
To actually, communicating with you. Of course, DMing is wonderful, direct messaging, and most of the major platforms have that. So now the impressions, that's the thing, people see it, but they don't react to it. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is if you get great impression, but you don't have great engagement, take a look at what could be the reason you didn't get engagement. Maybe you didn't have a call to action.
Yeah.
Maybe your visual was good, but your content, your caption was weak, right? There's always something to learn from your analytics. So those two things, the impressions and the engagement, are good. I am not, there are a lot of people who we call vanity metrics. Like I have, and I'm not saying I do, but I have 10,000 followers on, whatever, who cares? Like, you could buy 10,000 followers very cheaply. If you do, and this is a little tip. I strongly suggest people do not buy followers because you will totally mess up your analytics. You want people who are your ideal clients, ideal followers, to like, comment, follow you. If you have other people from, maybe you're a local business and now you've got people from a different state or a different country, it's going to mess up your analytics.
Yeah.
So that's where we need to kind of look. I'm not so concerned about number of followers, is basically where I went on that side trip.
Oh, that's okay. Followers are good, but I think relationships are number one. Relationships, engagement. If I had 100 followers and 99 of them I had a relationship and a conversation with, that would be way better than 10,000 followers in my book, because I don't need to have 10,000 clients.
Right. And could many small businesses even attempt to service 10,000 clients? Maybe not, but
or 100 clients even,
it'd be a great problem to have. But
it would be. You could hire a team.
We do, hire a team, right? If we had 10,000 clients, we'd hire a whole bunch of people who hopefully could retain our brand. Hiring is a whole nother aspect. One thing for those of your listeners who do have people that are in their businesses, who have team members, LinkedIn is a fabulous tool. I'm a host for LinkedIn Local in my area. I'm from New York, so Hudson Valley is a little above the city. And we pull people off platform to meet in person. But LinkedIn is great when you have your people, like you need a company page. So LinkedIn, you have your personal account, your name. I have my personal account, but I also have a business, a company page. Some people don't have a company page on their LinkedIn. It takes 5 minutes to set up. Go into LinkedIn, click on work, click on create company page. It'll take you 5 minutes. Trust me. Easy. You're securing your brand for your company name. Now, that being said, that company can now be attached to your personal profile and all your team members' personal profiles. So you're getting you're getting more exposure. So just a little side tip. I know it's not related to anything we've been talking about other than branding, but that's one of those little tidbits I love to share.
From a business owner perspective, you want your team to have visibility too, because they're part of your brand. Your people are your brand. They represent you, whether they're a W-2 or if they're a 1099. whatever relationship many companies today have on their company boards, their staff, their company staff page on their website, they have their staff with their LinkedIn profiles linked in there so that people can engage with them, because that's
Right.
how you create relationships.
Absolutely. And it is, and again, it's that realness, right? Those, you never know where your next lead is going to come from.
Yeah.
Unless you look at, again, we talk about analytics, unless you're looking at your analytics, social media wise,
Mhm.
you're not really, it's sort of like, did that work? Am I just shouting into the void? So I find, and then you can repurpose things. Like, one of the things I love about what we do, like if you go to Painless Posting on Instagram, 95% of that content is repurposed content that I cycle through 120 posts over a course of 6 months.
Mhm.
Same content. I don't do a darn thing. It just reposts it automatically, right?
Yeah.
It's valuable information. What I do is I look at my analytics and say, you know what, this post doesn't resonate. Let's take it out. This post resonated. Let me do another one similar to that talks about that problem because that resonated. And then I'll switch out. Like, these are the ways you can take your social media to actually grow your business, right? Wouldn't it be nice if we all could have social media that just wasn't a pretty Instagram feed, right? That it was a revenue generating machine. And that's, sometimes we need to look at our social media and say, okay, I need it to resonate, but I also need it simple.
Yeah.
You can create take one video post where you take time and you create a great video and you really work. Have that one that's massive that may take you an hour to create. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying the other stuff to keep engaged and keep you front of mind and keep you showing up, that's stuff that you can repurpose really great content that you've done in the past.
Awesome. We're getting down to the wire. I think we could talk for another hour. I'd love to get deeper and deeper into all of this stuff, because we've just scratched the surface. Just so great to have you here, Maggie. I appreciate it. I know that you've got a hard stop here in just a few minutes. So thank you, first of all. And Maggie, as we wrap up with your final words, what are 3 things that our listeners and viewers can do to put these ideas into action today?
And I'm going to steal Nike's line. Just do it. Just find the solution that works for you. Get the tools, the tactics, and the training you need to implement into your business. That's number 1. Like, don't try to, some people do it organically, which is great. You can do that organically, but it takes longer. So you've got to be having these tools will help you cut that process down. The second thing is step out of your comfort zone, be front facing in your social media. Take your phone. You got a great tip, record it. You're in a networking meeting or a strategy session with your clients, record them. If you're on Zoom, record them. The picture, the video of you could be used in your social media of you giving advice and tips. That's another shortcut to simplify your social.
Oh yeah, that's good.
But look, I'm a theater kid at heart, right?
Oh.
You give me a mic and a camera and I'll talk for hours. You see, well, I'll talk for hours, but that is not the case for many people. So please step out of your comfort zone. People need to hear you. You will resonate with your audience.
Yeah.
And the third and final thing is to be kind to yourself. There are going to be days where you're not going to feel like doing your social media. Plan ahead. If you plan your content ahead, our clients, we plan a month in advance, but even if you do a week in advance, this way, look, and I shared with you, Paul, and my family, 2 of my family members got COVID. My whole holiday season got sidetracked, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about it because my content was planned. So
Right.
when life happens, hopefully the problem that happens is you have so many people that are coming through the door that you don't have time to do your social. That is the time to strike when the iron is hot. So make sure you have backup content, make sure you have your content up there ready to go, so that you are promoting your business even when you're busy and don't have time to do it.
Awesome tips. So thank you so much again. As we sign off, remember, faith and action go hand in hand. So keep the pedal to the metal. Until next time on the Lead Machine Growth Show, I'm Paul Guyan and Maggie Carey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Paul. And don't forget, I wanted to make sure your listeners have something to take home with them to help them. So if you go to thehelpprocess.com, you have to put the V in, thehelpprocess.com, have a booklet that'll help, and a whole bunch of little extra bonuses that will help them create, learn how to use the help process. It dives a little bit deeper and gives some ideas to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lead Machine Growth Show with Paul Guyan, where we show you how to tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream so that you can transform your vision into reality. Remember to visit our website at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Lead Machine Growth Show.